Look, jumping right into this explainer today, I gotta be honest with you, it takes a toll. It's heavy. We're walking straight into a raw, unfiltered narrative from a city's relentless, cold concrete underbelly, right? This is no glossy tourist brochure. What we have here is a gritty, first-hand account of survival. It's etched in blood and steel in a place known simply as the Hammer. So I want you to just settle in, kind of feel that chill in the air, and walk these weary streets with me. Because to really understand this text, you literally have to feel the weight of the concrete beneath your feet. And this perfectly sets the stage for what we're walking into. Welcome to the Hammer where the love is lethal. You know, when a local resident recounts their life here, they don't deny the love they have for their city. Not at all. But they absolutely acknowledge the deadly cost of it. It's this incredibly harsh juxtaposition. You've got this fierce, undeniable loyalty to the streets that raised you, right? Side by side with the very real possibility that those same streets might be the end of you. It's a love that demands absolutely everything. Section 1. Blood in the basement, the immediate reality. Now think about the methodical, almost detached reality down here. We are immediately thrust into a super visceral scene. Imagine it, blood on sneakers, pooling into the rough grain of the basement concrete. A pulse gets checked, 0 heartbeat. The job is confirmed, done. It's chillingly professional, right? The narrator actually talks about upgrading the mission just to fix the cold. And let me tell you, the cold down here isn't just the physical temperature of the air, it's the sheer, biting emptiness of the act itself. 3. Just 3 seconds. The source text mentions a 3-second fuse. I really want you to think about how razor-thin the margin for survival actually is down in that basement. In this kind of environment, a 3-second fuse represents the explosive, sudden reality of violence. It's literally the blink of an eye between life and death. There's no time to negotiate, no time to hesitate. You have 3 seconds before the whole thing erupts. And well, here is the brutal consequence of that 3-second fuse. Brain's all a mess. Guess he should have never told. The streets operate on this completely unforgiving code. Silence isn't just considered a virtue, it is absolutely mandatory. The moment you break that code, the second you tell, the system corrects itself. Violently. It's just a weary, tragic fact of life for the narrator. You talk, and you pay the ultimate price right there on the freezing concrete. Section 2. Neon lights, steel foundations. The city above. So if we walk up the stairs and push open that heavy metal door, we step right out into the neon-lit grit of the city above, Steel Town. You can practically taste the metallic tang in the air, you know? The furnace never rested. That line right there from the source text, that is the beating heart of this entire narrative. This city is an industrial giant, constantly burning, constantly churning. Even when the sun goes down and those neon signs flicker on, that heavy, oppressive atmosphere of the steel industry, it never fades. It hangs over every single street corner, constantly reminding everyone of the massive machine they're trapped inside. Mapping out this weary reality really reveals how they navigate Hamilton. Over in the East End, it's all about smoke in the air, gold on the rim, which is this mix of heavy industry and hard-earned street status. Then you have the Skyway Bridge, this massive steel structure that glows ominously when the sun sets, casting a long shadow over the cold streets down below. And then there's Barton Street, the stroll, marked by devils at the gate. Every physical step taken through this city is mapped by grit, by danger, and by a bone-deep chill that just rolls right off the pavement. Section 3. Blue suits and crooked roads. Systemic corruption. Now, this is perhaps the most chilling realization from the entire text. Corruption in the blue suits, bodies in the walls. They build the walls higher just to fit them all. The narrator isn't just fighting rival soldiers out there. They are up against a massive systemic rot. The authorities, the blue suits, are just as compromised, if not more so. The city literally builds its foundations, its very walls to hide the bodies and all the dirty secrets. It's an inescapable, totally rigged game, viewed through the exhausted eyes of someone who just knows the deck is permanently stacked against them. There is such a harsh contrast here. On one side, you have the corrupt authorities building walls just to hide their sins, and on the other, you have the local residents who's just trying to navigate the crooked road home. When the entire system above you is completely broken and hiding the truth, you have to be incredibly smart. You have to maneuver carefully just to survive the walk to your front door. The road is crooked because, honestly, walking a straight line in a corrupt city gets you killed. Which leads us to this deeply cynical, exhausted truth.
Playing dirty in a city where the truth is illegal. I mean, when the blue suits are hiding bodies and the code of silence rules the underground, being honest is literally against the law of the land. Playing dirty isn't some moral failing for the narrator anymore. Actually, scratch that, it's just a basic survival mechanism. You adapt to the dirt, or you end up buried in it.
Section 4. The furnace beats loud. Resilience and the hammer.
Hammer in my blood. The narrator says, every step I'm repping. Now, this isn't just your standard hometown pride. This is a deeply biological connection. The heavy industry, the pain, the freezing cold nights, it literally runs through their veins. The city and the survivor, they become one and the same. To walk these streets is to carry the entire heavy history of Steeltown right inside your own body.
It's a delicate balance, right? Because out of the brutal physical reality, the lethal love, the hard concrete, the decay, out of all that comes the city's true spirit. The narrator says the souls stay loud and that the city's pain taught me finesse. It's like the heavier the pressure, the sharper the diamond. The decay of the physical environment inevitably forces the people to develop this loud, pounding, incredibly resilient spirit.
They build their morality from the ground up. The source actually notes that the sound came from the dirt. They hear the voices of the past pounding in the earth, and they survive by honoring the old guard, the OGs, who walked the Barton Street stroll way before them. But here's the key. They don't just repeat the past. They survive by upgrading the mission. They take a whole new perspective and rebuild the code on a different road. It's a complete evolution born out of pure necessity. And notice how the imagery perfectly comes full circle here. Earlier, the furnace was this oppressive machine of the city, right? But now, you can hear the furnace beating in every soldier's heart. That relentless, burning, industrial heartbeat of Steeltown has completely synchronized with the human heartbeat of the people walking its streets. They are quite literally fueled by the very fire that was meant to burn them down. Section 5. Surviving the lethal hammer. We are different people. The narrator closes out their story by just declaring, Hamilton made me. They are founded on the exact same steel as the Skyway Bridge. Because of the cold, because of the blood on the concrete, and because of those crooked roads, they proudly state, we're different people. Surviving this place fundamentally alters your DNA. But I think the most powerful takeaway here is that despite the incredibly heavy, weary tone of this whole journey, they end up shining so bright. They stand tall. They bear the hard-won pride of someone who was hardened by the hammer, but remains totally unbroken. So the really crucial point to take away is that this isn't just a story about one specific city. The walls are built higher to hide the bodies, for sure, but that furnace, it never rests. It kind of makes you wonder, as you look out at the neon lights of your own hometown, what hidden truths are resting in the steel foundations of your city? Definitely something to think about the next time you walk the concrete. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes open.